can you tell us about the visit here? What did you do? Why you did come to the Washington D.C.?
Okay, so there's this club which was founded by Mr. Jill Regard in the year 1977. It's a club of chefs who cater to the heads of states and monarchs. So, by virtue of being the executive chef to the President of India, I am a member of this club. It's only a very recent development. I have just completed 1 year in the office, and this is my first trip here to DC. The club meets every year in a different location, hosted by one of the member chefs, and we explore the local gastronomy, share ideas, talk about our routines, and it's basically a knocking board to bounce off ideas and improve our day-to-day functioning.
So, what is your experience here? Meet interacting with other chefs.
It's been wonderful. You know, any time working in your country and getting a guest list which includes a head of state, you're always wondering, okay, what does the head of state like? What are their dislikes? Are they allergic to something? Obviously, we get a copy from the concerned embassy for sure. But I think there cannot be somebody more accurate in this terms than the chef who's serving them on a daily basis. So it's easier for us to, once we've met one on one, we can just call them up and ask them, okay, hi chef, your head of state is coming over to India. What do they like? Do they have a specific dislike to for any particular item or cuisine or something, or are they allergic to something? And we can always work our menu around that. Obviously, being an Indian, I'll have my menus focused on the Indian cuisine. We've got such a huge variety and very popular. Indian food is popular throughout the globe. It's going to be primarily Indian food, but curated to the tastes of the visiting head of state.
You mentioned about the Indian food, popularity of Indian food. What kind of interest the Indian food has among the chefs of other head of states?
Well, a lot of members of the current lot in the club, they've all been to India in the year 2016. My predecessor at Rashtrapati Bhavan, he was the host chef, and he hosted everybody in the year 2016, and they all have a fair idea as to what India is all about. Some of them have had a taste of Indian food also, but after the visit, they're all gaga about it. They fancy the Indian food for sure. Some of them maybe not able to, are not able to digest the spice element. They try and refrain from having a lot of chilies, but other than that, they're open to the idea and they all love Indian food.
How do you describe Indian food to them?
Well, describing the diversity of Indian food, putting them in 50 words or 100 words or 200 words is not an easy task. As we say, every 100 kilometers you move in any direction in India, your food changes, your dialect changes, and maybe 200 kilometers down the line, even the language changes. So it's, something like moving around in Europe. You go from one country to the other, there's a different culture, different cuisine, and everything. So same is true for India also. So we have to give them a general idea and we tell them, Indian food is all about a way of life. In the north, in the cold regions of Kashmir, the cuisine is tailor-made to suit the requirements of the people there. Uh, in places like Rajasthan, which are dry and arid, the cuisine suits that palate. Uh, Down south is, hot and humid for most part of the year, so the cuisine is suited to their likings. As they say, Indian cuisine, like I said, it's a way of life. So you take the local ingredients, you work around them, and you take nourishment from them, and at the same time you make sure that it does not have any adverse effect on your body in terms of the weather, the climate, the temperature.
Your interaction with the other, did you interact with the US counterparts here?
Oh yes, uh, Chef Christetta Comerford has been a gracious host. She's been taking us around throughout DC, and it was very nice of her to arrange for a luncheon at the White House, hosted by Dr. Biden, and it was a wonderful experience.
One last question. On the popularity of Indian food globally, how do you see that? Is it growing up? Is it still there? And where is it competing with? Which other cuisines?
Well, Indian food per se has been on the up and up for the last decade or maybe two, and the popularity hasn't stopped growing. It's growing further and further. Uh, the one thing that the Indian food restaurants, across the globe, they lacked was the modern presentations. Globally, they have moved on from platter to plate service, and they have contemporary plating now. The same has started with the Indian food, and you know, the locals in the country, they when they see Indian food plated the way they like it, the way they see their food being presented, they become more open to the idea. The flavor remains Indian, so it's still on the up, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. And God bless Indian cuisine, God bless Indian food. Let this grow in popularity in a way, wherein we reach a level wherein we are equated with the French cuisine.
Right now, I am working for the Parliament of India as an executive chef at Parliament House Catering Unit. So, my dear friends, मैं जो culinary diplomats हैं अपनी अपनी कंट्री के, जो अपने अपने कंट्री के जो खान पान के जो डिप्लोमेट्स हैं, इसको हम बोलते हैं फूड डिप्लोमेसी। तो फूड डिप्लोमेसी में 2016 में ये जो क्लब दी शेफ है, ये 43 इयर्स पहले एक फ्रेंच मिस्टर जील ब्रगार्ड, उन्होंने ये क्लब शुरू किया था। इट वाज अ वंडरफुल आइडिया। नाउ wherever we go, the main role is played by the host chef of the country. So this particular year, the host chef is Crestetta Comerford. She is the chef of this particular event. I'm in 2023. तो क्रेस्टेटा ने हमको जब अंदर एक भोज पे बुलाया और Dr. Biden was there, she started a speech mentioning the details of the food diplomacy and why it is important, because there is a saying, if politics divide, a common food table reunite. So my dear friends, अब मैं आपको बताता हूं कि वहाँ जो हमने पूरा लंच किया उसकी जो महत्व है, उसके पीछे भी एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है। 43 सालों में ये क्लब कभी इंडिया नहीं आया था और हम इंडियंस मेंबर रहे हैं इस क्लब के फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट इवेंट। 2016 में मेरी गवर्नमेंट, मिस्टर मोदी की गवर्नमेंट जो है, मिस्टर मोदी ने इस पूरे क्लब को हिंदुस्तान आने का मौका दिया था और मेरी गवर्नमेंट, मिस्टर मोदी had invited every chef to his residence and we were hosted for a high tea. जब ये 2016 में ऑर्गेनाइज किया था, तो जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि the head of state should meet them. Mr. Pranab Mukherjee used to be the president of the country and I was the executive chef of President's Secretariat during that time. तो तब वहाँ पर Mr. President, I was there in the palace, so it was very easy to get approved. And then I had put up a request to the Prime Minister office. It was again approved, and my Mr. Modi was kind enough, he was generous enough to approve, and we all had a chance to meet him, and it was a very lovely meeting. So I am thankful to my government.
तो व्हाइट हाउस के अंदर आपको क्या खाने को मिला, उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे?
सर, जो मेन्यू है वो मेन्यू शुरू हुआ था एक, इट वाज अ गैस्पेचो। गैस्पेचो इज इट्स अ कोल्ड सूप, जो कि एक जनरल, इट वाज अ नॉर्मल, इट वाज नॉट अ नॉर्मल गैस्पेचो। वो कुकुम्बर का सूप होता है, खीरे का सूप, बट यहाँ पर थोड़ा नॉनवेज का कल्चर ज़्यादा है, तो उसमें लॉबस्टर का वो सूप था और उसमें चेरी टमेटोज। इट वाज अ कुकुम्बर प्लस टमेटो, very innovative. As you can see into the picture, the lobster, and on another side, main course we had it was a lamb steak with red wine reduction and some potatoes and other onion shallots and class. In dessert, it was a big size. The portion size was too big for us, like we don't take that much of big portions. But here we have been noticing that in US the portion size, be it your coffee, be it your burger, be it your main course, even be it your dessert, the portion size is too big, too big. So we are not habitual of having such big portions. So I could not finish, I mean say many of us could not finish the full portion size of the dessert.
इंडियन कुजीन के बारे में क्या डिस्कशन हुआ, किस रूप में डिस्कशन हुआ?
सर, इंडियन क्यूजीन के बारे में जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि 2016 में हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने भी इन सब को रिसीव किया हुआ है और इनको 8 दिन तक हमने दिल्ली, आगरा, जयपुर पूरा घुमाया है। तो आप यकीन मानिए, गोलगप्पे, भल्ले पापड़ी, टिक्की, विच वी कॉल इट एज अ स्ट्रीट फूड, which is the real authentic food of any country. You don't get those food in 5-star hotels. Yes, you can arrange it into the 5-star hotels, but authenticity, because these all are the culinary ambassadors of their country. So I was the culinary ambassador of my country. So I had to project what is the real taste and the food of the country. That's why I took them to the Khari Bawli, the Asia's biggest spice market. So on table, when the table when I was sitting there and my colleague was sitting with me, so we were discussing about our Indian, they all wanted to know. There are some new members also, but still they were discussing till now. This document is this is very much documented through an email. Once the this event was over, Mr. Gil Burgard had sent me, in 40 years of history, the best ever General Assembly meet of Club the Chef was the Indian meet. So this is the beauty of my culture, my cuisine, my hospitality skills of my country to the world.
क्लब के जो दूसरे मेंबर्स हैं उनके बीच में भारत की कुजीन की क्या इम्प्रेशन है?
उनके बीच में भारत की क्यूजीन को लेकर के जो एक मिसकंसेप्शन था कि ये बहुत ही ज्यादा स्पाइसी होती है, बट इफ यू कंपेयर माय क्यूजीन विद द थाई क्यूजीन इज मच मोर स्पाइसी. सी, द स्पाइस डज नॉट मीन द चिलीज ओनली, because having an over flavor of clove, it becomes a spicy thing for a foreigner, for a European Union members. So but we use our spices in such a combination. It is mild in nature, especially in hotels. So they liked it, and once you order that, please give me little less spicy and more flavorful. And how do you make that less spicy and more flavorful food? Just increase the cardamom or whatever flavor you are giving to your dish, be it coconut, be it clove, be it cinnamon, whatever. So just increase the essence, the flavor, not the chilies.
क्या पॉपुलैरिटी है, बढ़ रही है, घट रही है, उसी स्थान पे है?
सर, किसी भी क्यूजीन के लिए क्या मैटर करता है, उसके कंज्यूमर्स कितने हैं. अगर आप क्यूजीन को एक प्रोडक्ट की फॉर्म में देखते हैं तो उसके कंज्यूमर्स, वी आर the largest populated country in the world. Wherever we go, you can have any other cuisine, but the best cuisine for anyone is your mother cuisine. And what is your mother cuisine? The Indian cuisine, be it South Indian, East Indian, North Indian, West Indian. So wherever you go, after having a few meals of some other cuisine, you will definitely come back to your mother cuisine. So we are more in numbers and we are spread across the globe. So इसीलिए हम जब इतना जो हम फैले भी हैं, तो साथ में हम अपनी क्यूजीन लेके भी जाते हैं उस कंट्री में. तो जब हम अपनी क्यूजीन लेके जाते हैं तो हमारे घर गेस्ट आते हैं, हम बाहर जो रेस्टोरेंट्स खोलते हैं तो उनको अपनी क्यूजीन से अवगत कराते हैं. तो ये सारे काम होने के बाद आज की डेट में इंडियन क्यूजीन हैज, if this is the level of any cuisine, Indian cuisine has surpassed this level. It is beyond the sky now, and I'm grateful with these high class Michelin star restaurants also, because they are the one who has given another name to the Indian cuisine. They call it as modern Indian cuisine, because whenever any cuisine leaves the border, it loses some flavors also. Either it will lose some flavor or it will grab some flavor. So this is called what cuisine we are making in India, be it your Italian, Mexican, Conti, Chinese, Thai, whatever. So we manipulate the certain things as per our taste. So on the same lines, whenever a cuisine leaves the borders, some manipulation will also be done as per your taste, or the person who is the consumer's taste. So trust me, Indian cuisine has surpassed the level.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you.